Now, if you look at ourselves, one of the things in a human being is subjected to, that is the will and the desire to acquire. Now, from the time we are born into this world, we cannot stop acquiring. And the will to acquire is so natural. We need not be taught. And the satisfaction of acquiring things is so real to our hearts. But the peculiar thing about acquiring is it didn't stop. It cannot be stopped. Somehow, it cannot cease in the human heart. Our human mind and will cannot stop acquiring. We are just not contented with survival. So it feels like in some way or another, I need to get something for myself in this life that I live once. So the human nature, this human will never stop acquiring right to his deathbed. And even then, he will grasp for his last breath. And how depressing it is, when you think about that. Why is a human being made this way? How depressing it is. And the next peculiar thing about acquiring is when we are in the pursuit of acquiring, it didn't really occur to us. We are losing something at the same time. And in fact, we actually lose more. Now, if you look at it in the broad sense, when the modernization of our world comes, when people are better off materially, financially, and technologically, somehow people became poorer in their hearts. We became more indifferent. We became more individual. We are more class conscious. People are more calculative. We complain, not because we don't have food to eat. We complain because probably the train comes slow, and probably the internet speed went down to like 20 megabytes per second. We complain about these things when life gets better. Now, I remember when it was like 25 years ago, when the shares can be traded in the open markets. I've lived long enough to see this. Now, people acquire wealth through trading shares. And over the years, the next few decades, people lost everything. They lost their life savings through shares. And the recent high flux problem is an example of what is happening. And life seems to become more comfortable, better education for people, but family units breaking down. And love between men becomes so superficial. And that's a very real thing that is happening. And not to mention the social media fever that a lot of us is in. And when everyone just want to appear their best part of their lives in the internet, everyone is doing that so that they could be the envious of everyone. That day I was reading from a psychologist. Now, he said something and very worth thinking. He said, the happier your social media posts, it actually meant the more miserable you are. Do you know that? So, what is it? How does this work out? Because you're so miserable in life that you would always want to tell the world how happy you are, how comfortable you are, how cool you are. So that is basically nothing to be envious of if you see someone posting something really happy. Now, it's paradoxical. Don't you realize that? Paradoxical. And happier seems to be and more miserable, but actually. And you come to think about nowadays, people want to live longer, and more drugs are being invented, hospitals, better health care are given. Now, the thing is, people are more afraid of death. And if you understand these things in a broad sense, while the rich are getting a better health care, the poorer people are not getting. And it's strange. The other day I just spoke to a doctor. And the doctor says, do you know why nowadays, more people are getting cancer in their lives? That's because people are living longer. And because you live longer, you know why? There are cancer cells in your bodies, in everyone's body. So when you live longer, your immune system gets weaker. And that's why the cancer cell appear and you have a whole lot of cancer patients in the hospital just because there are drugs, better medication to help people live longer. Now, listen up. My dear friends, I'm not saying we should become primitive again. Oh no, let's go back to the time when we ride horses, and let's go back to the time when marriages are being matchmade, or do away with healthcare. No, what I'm saying is, I just want to point to you, all of us here, there is an unseen principle in this fallen world. There seems to be a destiny that we human beings are bound with. We are bound with a destiny of acquiring something and then losing more the next moment. And most people in the pursuit of their success, prosperity, and security, they have not realized this. But the Bible actually have spoken explicitly about this problem. Why is this happening? The Bible has answers for us.